Yeah, what up? What up? What up? What it is? What it do? You know who it is? Who are you? We back again with the 22 twos. We here for another quick hitter. We do our second and two. This is our rundown of the game for that.
Y'all like that?
Last week. You know what I'm saying? It is.
Yeah.
This is when we get into, our little bit knowledge that we like to share with y'all. And then we're going what happens after second and two. You got
we know football. You gotta we all argue with anybody. We know what we're talking about.
Advance, all right. You gotta advance the change on a saying after second and two. So but we in a tough situation. We're in a fourth down situation. We're gonna get into the four downs after that. We're gonna go ahead and kick it off. FJB, get it started with our, second and two segment on the 22 twos, quick hitter second. Quick hitter.
Yes, sir. Lots of football. Time out. Shout out Sam Laporta. Shout out AJ Brown. Shout out Stephon Diggs. I fell asleep, took a 20-minute nap, woke up, cashed me out. $1.50.
Oh, they made you money?
They got me that rich. Yo, fellas, there was a lot of touchdowns scored this weekend. Sunday, a plethora. I really loved Alvin Kamara. I was just like, Spencer Rattler gonna start. Olave got concussed like first drive of the game. I was like, Kamara's getting in there. He's getting in there. So I put big bread on that. That cashed me out. Shout out to all of them. But let's jump right into the second and two. Sean, kick us off, boys.
Yep. Hey, listen, we had the Eagles coast their way to a victory. Because they're dirty birds. We don't rock with the Eagles over here. But shout out Philadelphia. They won 20-16. Jalen Hurts had a big day, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. AJ Brown had an even equal day, 6 receptions, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. But Deshaun Watson and crew couldn't get the job done. And we're going to talk a little bit more about those moves that were made. Amari Cooper moving from the Browns to the Bills, and that's a big move. But listen, next game, dangerous. Listen, next game, the Bears beat the stripes off of the Jaguars. You heard 35-16. Cole Kmet, 5 receptions, 7 yards, 2 touchdowns. Huh? whatever pattern, whatever false spring pattern they had on them, it's off. Slap the stripes, slap the polka dots off them, whatever you want to call it. All right. Cole Kmet, 5 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he played long snapper in spot duty off of the injury. Caleb Williams had one of his biggest games of the season, 23 of 29, 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT. Now, Trevor Lawrence, this is going to be a big conversation we're going to talk about later on, but Trevor Lawrence had himself a great game, but the defense let them down. They didn't play up to snuff. Listen, I pass it along to you, JB. Let's take it to the next couple of games.
Yes, sir. Darnell, talk to me.
So we had something this week. It was interesting. Your boy CJ struts his stuff, and Joe was in the mix. As we see
that's nasty. I don't like that.
As we see the Texans come on triumphant. And are we starting to see the Patriots maybe looking at another first-round pick? It's tough up there in Foxborough, so shout out to the Texans coming back from that that tough loss. Now have a 5-1 record up there right now as far as with the Ravens and the Chiefs for, the top teams in the AFC at the moment, right? Harbaugh, hopefully he's okay, had a regular heartbeat, but Herbert,
You'll roll with this dude.
with the championship medal to come and wrangle the Broncos. Can Harbaugh infuse the Chargers with the finishing touch? That's the main thing, and we have seen that this year as a running game, and the defense has come together. So we are looking at a different Chargers team from Harbaugh opposed to Brandon. I'm not even going to say it. I ain't going to say
Physicality is the difference.
Yeah. Verticality. And how can we say this? Captain's log. I think Kirk is in the building. Kirk Cousins has gone to this point where Captain now Kirk. The Falcons are showing out, and they are proving that they took a risk. And maybe, just maybe, Anderson's boy is going to be on the bench a little bit longer.
You need to work on that
ageless
swag
one.
surf, though.
The ageless one. The ageless one.
Oh, you don't like the swag surf?
I just want to see Kirk Cousins come out with the chain, and I want to see him do. I gotta see the drip. I gotta see the drip. So shout out to the Falcons taking a big swing at that, as they are leading the division right now as we speak. And I think we might have the finishing of that. Aaron Judge. Sorry. That's it, fellas. Back to you.
Anderson, take us home. Pause.
Hey, all right. So Romeo Dobbs came back. He said, I just needed a little bit of time off, but I'm back like I never left. He caught 2 touchdowns. Packers beat the Cardinals 34-13. Little Mighty Mouse didn't do much over there in Arizona, but you know.
He tried.
He tried.
Shout out to him for his preschool legs, man.
My man, Brock Purdy. He said, I may not be able to buy dinner for my offensive line on this salary, but it's my division. Through 3 touchdowns, he beat the Seahawks 36-24. 49ers were triumphant. And to me, the most impactful game of the week, unfortunately, the Bucks told Spencer Rattler, welcome to the NFL, young man.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Godwin and his boy
Mike Evans.
Chris Godwin and his boy Baker Mayfield threw all kind of fantasy leagues in disarray this week.
Yo, Baker went. What did he end up with, like 3 something?
The Bucks beat the Saints 51-27. And I lost my fantasy league game this week because Chris Godwin had 30-something points. Who saw that coming?
37. That's crazy.
Baby.
That's quarterback numbers. That's quarterback.
Shout out to the slot receivers, man.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, I lost to Ray Davis, who showed his backside against the Giants, against the Jets last night. So there's that. But fellas, getting into this 4-down territory where we got to make the first
4-down territory.
As we mentioned, Bears beat the brakes off the Jags 35-16. Trevor Lawrence 2 touchdowns, 234 pass yards. Didn't mean much. The Bears got whatever they wanted. DeAndre Swift, who's been kept humble for most of the season, had somewhat of a breakout game, had his second highest rushing total on the ground. I believe he had 93 rushing yards in week 3. He had 91 on the ground against the Jags this weekend. Them London games, kind of tricky. They do it to you, but the Jags have actually had a good record on the road over there in London. Not this weekend.
Yeah.
Dudes, ever since college, I've been hearing coming out of Clemson that Trevor Lawrence is the second coming of Peyton Manning. Why did I pay attention? Because Peyton Manning, my all-time favorite QB. I'm thinking this dude about to be in here, reading defenses, you know what I mean? Pre-snap audibles, making it happen. I've seen nothing so far. The word on the street is Doug Peterson might not be on that ride back with from London.
I just gotta say one thing though, to your point about nothing. He did have that one game where they came back.
He had those two. It was 2 years. 2 years.
That was the
when I say nothing, I mean sustained level, like consistent. Like
sustained talent.
It's so up and down. Yeah, it's so up and down. But I'm glad y'all jumped in though, because where I'm going with this, is it Doug Peterson's fault? Is it time for there to be another coaching change, or do the Jags have to look another direction when it comes to quarterback? How close are we getting to that bust category for Trevor Lawrence maneuvers?
I mean, it depends on the owner's appetite for what they want.
I'm in the mood to fight today, so be prepared for a lot of.
In the mood to fight.
Be in the mood for somebody to cut you off.
You go ahead.
All of y'all.
Right.
I'm just saying. Go ahead. Please continue. Right. I'll be courteous.
Yeah. It just depends on the owner's appetite for the direction they want the team to make. I don't think I don't think switching coaches again is going to be a good thing. I think he's pretty committed to Trevor.
It's like how much was like $200 million or something like that?
Yeah, it's big
230 something. Yeah, it's a lot.
Contract, man. It's a big contract. Yeah.
So I think you try to fix what you think is wrong. I mean, this was a playoff team, and I think in this day and age with how quickly the news cycles rotate. Hey, let's not forget, like, this poor kid had, Urban Meyer as his coach.
Yeah.
So I'm not making excuses for him because I'm not making excuses for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
But, I think, at this point, it's not they've made the playoffs.
Was it Doug Marrone? Was it Doug Marrone that the year that when he first came in? I think Doug Marrone was a coach, right?
This is his third coach.
Yeah, Doug Marrone, Urban Meyer, now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I say
Darnell. Darnell, what do you think is the problem then in that case? Because it seems like he has talent at the skill positions, right? You got Christian Kirk, you got Gabe Davis, you got Evan Ingram, who actually just came back. He had 10 receptions for over 100 on Sunday. ATN and Bigsby in the backfield, although they tend to fumble the rock a lot.
Yeah,
but they have talent. Yeah. So
I think what it is too, it's Doug Peterson. Of course, he's a great coach. I think he's a really good coach because he did have that the Super Bowl.
Did well in Philly. Yeah,
did well in Philly. You know what I'm saying? He was a backup with Brett Favre. You know what I mean? Like, that's in Green Bay, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I think what it is,
I'll make you question his character, though.
Anyway. Yeah, that's true. but I would say this,
Don't sue me, Brett.
We've seen so many different aspects of him where, like, flash of the pan. I mean, that comeback against the Chargers, was it 22 points down or 24 points down or something like? Was it? No, I think it was 4. I think it was 28.
28. Yeah, that playoff game.
You know what I'm saying? That playoff game. So. It can't just be a flash in the pan. The guy's 6'6". He could run a 4.5. He's got a cannon for an arm. He does make mistakes, but I think that's more along the lines of like, hey, I wouldn't say get rid of the coach. I'll say the quarterback coach. Really get in the room and get this guy in the lab to find out exactly what's going on, because he's just got it. He's got all of the measurables to be good. But I'm really starting to wonder if maybe mentally his nerves are just been shot, and like he's just not picking up where he left off from all of those, the years that people were saying like, hey, I'll take him over. And a few GMs a few years ago said, hey, don't take him over Mahomes. You know what I mean? So it can't just be that far from grace. Like, we got to see what's going on.
Sean, what's their next move? They're 1-5 right now. They're very, very likely cooked from any playoff contention. I mean, they probably don't have to battle too much with the Titans or the Colts in that division, but they're not they're not usurping the Texans.
Yeah,
and with the other divisions looking healthier with the Jets and the Bills, and Bengals obviously similar record, but 2 wins. Not far off the Steelers, the Ravens. There's a lot of teams that's going to be vying for that position, so they probably cook. What's their next move?
Yeah. But to your point, they play in a division that is on the weaker end of the spectrum. When you're talking about the Colts, you're talking about the Titans. In those opportunities they have in themselves in order to be able to break even. But my problem is that they're a very pass-happy football team, and I think that goes back to our previous conversation prior to the season where we're talking about Trevor Lawrence being paid, $60 million to be the guy and drop back and throw the ball 25 to 35 times a game, when the strength of the Jaguars and the strength in his game is the play action. You know what I mean? Like, they're not running they're not making a concerted effort to hand the ball off to their playmakers. I mean, Bigsby's been having an excellent season. But Travis Etienne, I feel like, is their dual threat running back that can catch it out of the backfield and run the ball. And I think that they're not giving him enough touches. I mean, he's been off injured, but he's somebody that has to have the ball in his hands.
He's a
spark. Did that way better last year.
Yeah.
He did. And Brian Thomas Jr. has been huge for the Jaguars.
He's not getting enough targets.
But honestly, to that point, FJB, I push back on it. I say that's fool's gold, because that's not how you win football games. You know what I mean? You win football games controlling the clock, And it was a classic example playing against the Bears. Like, they were 3-and-out a lot. I mean, even though that Trevor Lawrence played excellent football, they didn't have sustained drives. There was a lot of 3-and-outs. A lot of his touchdowns and his completions were in garbage time. So it's like they're not making a concerted effort to keep the team on the field in short yardage situations to be able to make the game easy for Trevor Lawrence. His receivers aren't catching the football. They're dropping a lot of easy catches. So it's tough on the Jaguars. But can we talk about the ascending Bears? Okay, we're talking about Caleb Williams
before you go to the Bears. I think you all just kind of answered the question on what needs to happen next to the Jaguars. We need to figure out a new play caller because it sounds like the play caller is not working. And another thing too is you say there's talent on the outside, but they are dropping passes, and Big Play Gabe is not looking like Big Play Gabe. There's no separation between him.
Gotta get separation.
Anyway, well, go ahead.
The drop. To your point, the drop in the end zone that would have changed the complexion of the football game. It just not enough plays were made on the field and not enough sustained drives in order to be able to stay in the game or stay in the hunt with the Bears because the Bears have offensive weapons. Right. Transitioning to the Bears, listen, Caleb Williams seems like he has figured it out slowly but surely. Going into the right part of the season, right? Because he made it through the first quarter, he had his struggles, and then he had his breakout game this particular game. So them being able to get the run game going off of the play action and their defense is beginning to buckle down and look like the defense that we project them to be. So I think that the Bears and, in a microcosm, they're playing the kind of football that you would hope for them to play at this particular time of the season.
I mean, their players are kind of peaking now. Keenan Allen showed up 2 touchdowns. He's been injured to start the season.
My white homie, Cole Kmet, my Caucasian homie, Cole Kmet.
I picked him up in the last pick of one of my drafts. The
better tight ends in the NFL.
But he picked it up. DeAndre Swift, as I mentioned, had one of his better games this season. But we also got to use this as a case study of we all got to relax with these rookie quarterbacks, right? If they come out hot and they hit a little bump in the road week 5 or 6, we say the defense has figured them out. If they start out slow, we say they're not cut out. Can we just relax and take it one game at a time? Caleb is he's on an excellent trajectory right now. As you mentioned, they got to a nice part of the set schedule, week 6. They got a little cupcake defenses to kind of, help him build that confidence, help him get those reps. And I think he'll be fine for the rest of the season. But shout out to the Bears, man.
Facts.
But, of course, another from one struggling team to another struggling team. Boys, we talk about this all the time. What the is up with the Cowboys?
We love it. We don't hate it. We love it. It's great.
Absolutely.
listen.
We love it.
Yo,
Dan
Campbell
don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to me. I'll find somebody else to talk.
You better watch him out.
Get ready.
Watch him out.
We'll get out of here.
I will go down to that radio station right now.
Get out of here.
Right now.
Listen, it's a great weekend. All right, I'll hit you with the Donald Trump hands. It's a great weekend when the Cowboys lose the way that they do at home.
It was a great weekend.
It was very, very good.
Detroit came down, the Midwest Thunder, the Lions.
It was a great weekend. It was a beautiful weekend.
It was amazing. Jerry, I gotta call Jerry, but we got big wins.
Everything, shout out Stephen A. What does he always say about the Cowboys? What can go wrong will go wrong. And everything went wrong for the Cowboys in this game. 315 yards passing from Jared Goff. 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys running back combined for 13 carries, 42 yards on the ground. Dak Prescott only completes 52% of his passes and throws 2 interceptions.
Here we go.
Here we go. Nothing. Quite literally nothing. Yeah, boys, what is the problem with the Cowboys maneuvers?
I want to go first. This is the problem. This is the problem with the Cowboys. The problem with the Cowboys, and everyone says it's Jerry as a GM. Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, the reality of the situation is that they've got players that they felt were like franchise players, and they paid them
a lot.
They paid them a lot.
Yeah.
Then they didn't, as every other NFL team has done, it seems like recently, decide, hey, it's the off season and there's free agents and I can make moves to try to plug some of the holes in my team.
Yeah.
He felt like they had
justified.
Yeah.
Justified. Okay. All right.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
You got it. All right, man. You got it.
My bad. Continue.
He felt like Jerry felt like he had everything that he needed because they have been winning 12 games.
Yeah.
12 games. And, to make a basketball reference, right? Like, even though I'm not a huge fan of the Cat trade right now because I'm waiting till the playoffs to see how it plays out. Because you know what? With the team that we had, it'll make sense. With the team that we had, we knew that the Knicks would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's all right. You can make it to the playoffs. You can win 12 games, Jerry, but how are you going to win the championship? You weren't going to win it with a team that won 12 games the previous few years and lost in the first or second round of the playoffs. So what changed? He didn't make any changes to try to go to the next step. So you can't be.
They got worse.
Yeah. I can't be mad. I can't be mad at the Knicks move because they're making a move to try to say, okay, how do we get to the next step? What we have isn't enough. Jerry said, I got enough. I'm gonna pay these guys because they won 12 games. I'm gonna get new coordinators in here and change things around.
No, but to Jerry's credit, he hasn't been wrong over the past 6 years in terms of drafting high quality talent in the first, in the second, in the third, and the fourth. And this is a rival division fan, mind you, telling you that he has done an excellent job curating a football team without having to go to free agency.
You're completely right, but you got to understand when you've hit a place where you need to do something different to get to where you want to be. And that's the indictment on Jerry Jones. That and that he threatens people because he's in a position of power. But
to that point, how much more can Jerry Jones do? He's tried everything.
He went out and re-signed Ezekiel Elliott when there were plenty of other running backs. Derrick Henry wanted to go to Dallas. He could have gotten
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. It's crazy. He lives in Dallas. He lives in Dallas.
Razorback, Arkansas is right around the corner.
That's nasty work, bro. That's nasty work. That's nasty work.
You know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to do enough.
But to Jerry Jones's psyche,
that's the problem right there.
He just finished paying Ezekiel Elliott one of the biggest contracts in running back history, and it didn't work out the way that he would have loved it. And then he's gonna have Derrick Henry come into the building and sign another big ass contract. He was having PTSD from the jump.
Derrick Henry
didn't want to do that.
Derrick Henry didn't need a big contract, number one. And number two, this is the problem right here. We are talking about Jerry Jones. We're not talking about anything else.
And Steven,
that's what Jerry wants, and that's why Jerry won't win a Super Bowl.
Well, I think it's a tough
about Jerry.
Well, it's tough because I think every sports fan knows exactly what the situation has been or what it is, for the Cowboys the last couple of years, and as a Giants fan, I would love for us to win 12 games. It's like 6 years in a row, and at least we made it to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And I think, but the Cowboys have set the marker that high where, hey, this is where it's at. What I'm trying to really figure out about Jerry, and as I commented on what Maneuver said, drafting, they probably have some of the best scouts in the NFL.
Yes, they do.
But the thing is, trying to use unproven talent to get proven wins is not how you win in the postseason.
That's a bar.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
a
it's
bar.
like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you have this thing, and the Cowboys fan, unfortunately for them, Jerry's main focus, and I think we have to be real honest about Jerry, and Jerry has to be real. I think this call that we heard today was probably his come to Jesus moment. Jerry, do you really care about the team, or do you care about money? Because if you have the most valuable franchise in the world, why are you so tight-fisted about spending this about a team you care so much about? Bro, have you been to Dallas and seen the star?
But listen, I'll push back. Darnell.
He just spends wrong.
But I said no. But I'm saying,
Darnell,
bad development or bad. Bro, he's investing in the wrong product.
Darnell, I'll push back on that comment that you made a little bit earlier in talking about the talent isn't necessarily unproven talent pushing forward toward the playoffs is not necessarily the best route to go. You look at certain teams that have been able to follow that blueprint. You look at the 49ers, right?
They don't count. They made a deal with the San Francisco Devil in the Ocean, bro. There's no reason that team could get rid of
the San Francisco Devil in the Ocean.
Whoever is that, bro, with the voodoo doctor in the water, bro, in the Bay Area. Because I don't know how
John Lynch,
all of them draft picks and find Brock Purdy at the bottom of the barrel, bro. No offense.
Darnell, John Lynch has followed the same blueprint, if not a similar blueprint, to what the Dallas Cowboys have done in terms of drafts, in terms of picking up free. He spent money. Yes, he has spent money in free agency, but at key positions in order to make the football team better. But the 49ers have banked on their drafting ability as well, and it has worked out for them.
It has. They went out and got Trent Williams. They went out and got Christian McCaffrey. They went out and spent money and brought players that are gonna make a difference.
They drafted Brock Purdy. They drafted Deebo Samuel. They drafted Brandon Ayuk. They drafted
name one
Warner.
player.
They have players
Name one player that Jerry went out and got that was impacted. He spent money on. Name one. I challenge you to name me one.
Jerry Jones is concerned.
Name me one.
No.
He hasn't. But Jerry Jones. Listen.
Brandon Cooks.
Amari Cooper.
Gilmore, Brandon Cooks, cool.
Cooper.
Amari Cooper. He's been down that path. What you have to understand the difference, Andy. The difference in between Jerry Jones and the 49ers is that Jerry Jones has tried everything and has not gotten past the divisional round.
Right.
He has not gotten past the divisional round. He's done everything. Free agency, draft, new coaches,
new quarterback.
New quarterback, but the constant has been the constant. Hold on. The constant has been the quarterback because the quarterback has been excellent through the regular season. He just hasn't been able to break through in the playoffs. We're hoping that he can because he's good enough, and I believe in Dak Prescott. I believe in Dak Prescott. He's good enough.
Do you know what he hasn't tried?
I think he's good enough too. Yeah.
You know what? The one position Jerry hasn't tried to get to fix the GM position. That's what he
his son. He's not moving off his son. He's not moving off his son.
And this is family business.
He's not moving off his son.
With us.
Just a wrap. He need to get a little Mr. McMahon in him. It's all about the franchise. His son, if it's not working, get him out of here.
Yo, JB, that needs to be a show in itself when we talk about the McMahon series on Netflix.
Oh yeah, we got to get to that. But of course, Cowboys and NFC East are not. Whoa.
We cutting it off because we ain't talking about nothing about the X's and O's. Because let me tell you something. The Detroit Lions put on a friggin' show. It was something special, bro.
David Montgomery. They didn't want to. First of all, Cowboys didn't want to tackle.
They are
They didn't want to tackle.
We thought they were.
They are. They solid. Because the Lions should have been in the Super Bowl last year,
bro. Yeah,
they got jerked, but they should have been a Super Bowl.
The Cowboys was running this stupid fake cover two, but it before the snap, it showed like single high, and Goff destroying it. He's like, I know it's covered too. I know it's covered too.
Yeah.
That's Tampa too.
But maneuvers, they were acting like they wanted to tackle. And they didn't want to tackle that. They didn't, bro. They did not want to tackle.
But you know what?
Seen a lot of times there was a lot of posers and fakers when they play that film. When they played that film on Monday and Tuesday, them dudes will be embarrassed, bro, because they didn't want to put they didn't want to put foot to ass on that field.
When Detroit plays, but here's the thing, Detroit, they were not tackling similarly, but it was like the plan was first person to the ball, punch out.
Everybody going for the
ball.
Turnover. Don't worry, somebody else is coming. Just try to punch it out.
Hey, shout out to Aaron Glenn, man. Really transforming that defense for sure.
Former New York Jet All-Pro.
Unfortunately,
but I'll say this
down for the season.
But look, that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, touching on what FJB said, if right now, if I'm the Lions, am I picking up that phone and making a call to some of these teams at the bottom?
I'm calling the Jets.
Yes, absolutely.
Going for Reddick?
Can I get Reddick? Is Miles available?
Miles, I'll try to go for Miles. I'll go for Miles.
Prayers up to Aiden Hutchinson with that rocket leg, man.
Yeah. Guys, what did we just talk about a while ago? Putting all the chips in this year's year,
right?
Man. You got them picks. We have everything we need.
This is the window.
Put all the chips on the window.
Because you think about the NFC is really not. I mean,
the Lions can literally look themselves in the mirror and say we're the best team. I know Minnesota's undefeated. But the Lions can say we are the best team in this conference.
Yeah,
hands down.
In the NFC, period.
Speaking of which, let's talk about that whole NFC North division. Period. 17-5. 17-5 through 6 weeks.
Foot to ass.
Belt to ass. BTA. Belt to ass.
BTA, bro. BTA, bro.
Are they the class of the NFL? I think they are. I mean, 17-5 is crazy. You got a rookie quarterback in last place in the division at 4-2. You got an undefeated Minnesota Vikings with Brian Flores heading up that defense. They look crazy. The Lions, we just discussed them beating ass on the Cowboys, looking great. And Jordan Love looking like he's worth every penny that Green Bay signed him to, because he's picking up right where he left off last year. Manu was mentioned it earlier. Romeo Dobbs is back.
That's my heart. They
got all the receivers. They got all the receivers in the room looking like the Spider-Man meme, pointing at each other, because whether it's Dontavion Wicks, whether it's Christian Watson, whether it's Romeo Dobbs, whether it's Jaden Reed, they're literally
it's like end too, man. That tight end's a beast too, man.
Yeah, you got Tucker Kraft and you got Musgrave over there, so they have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of weapons on offense.
Staple on my franchise team. He's never coming out of the starting lineup. Guaranteed.
Who?
Reed. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
12 points or better.
He's cooking. Yeah. He's cooking. So only question I got here, and Sean, I'm gonna kick it to you real quick. Can we, or is it likely that we see all 4 teams in that division make playoffs?
I don't know if all 4 teams will make it in the playoffs, but they'll definitely make a hard push in order to be able to do that. The team outside looking in, I think, would be the Chicago Bears.
I guess technically they can't, right? Because it's 4 plus 3.
They can.
No, they can't all make it. Only 3.
They can't all. It's only 3 outside of division winners. Yeah.
It's only 3, bro.
But if we're talking purely records, right? Because if those football teams win and win 11 plus games, definitely all of them can make it in, right? But we're really talking about a team in the
Is
Chicago
that mathematically
Bears.
Possible when they all
I don't think it's possible, bro, because it's possible.
Like it is
you
possible.
you got 3.
But when we're talking about, my bad, Donald, when we're talking about the field, right? Everybody else that they have to play. We're not talking about just division games, because that's 6 apiece, right? Yeah. So you're talking about two each in every team. You know what I'm saying? But I think that the inconsistency will come with the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams and his play and how steady he can be playing against those other teams in the division. I think they would be the odd man out, but those Green Bay Packers, watch out, because that defense is gelling into something special. The Lions are beginning to get it together on the defensive end. Their pass rush. They have the defensive tackle. I'm going to try to find his name real quick so I don't misquote. Number 54 was cooking. In any case, they were getting after the rush, stopping the run on the way to sacking the quarterback. We already know what the Vikings do. You know what I'm saying? 5-0. The resurgence of Sam Darnold. You know, he's exercised those ghosts. You know what I'm saying? So allegedly. He's done allegedly. No, I mean, honestly, it really does help when you have Justin Jefferson and those weapons on the outside. Listen, that division is stacked. The most important thing to remember is that all four of those teams are ascending defensively, and they're beginning to assert their will as far as running the football. Yeah. So when you have, and that is going to be a staple. That's what y'all dudes out there is going to know me for. I like physicality on both sides of the football. Physicality. All four of those football teams are demonstrating, especially the Detroit Lions, physicality on each side of the football, and that's what they're trademarking in that division. So right. I like what's happening there, but I do see the Bears on the outside looking in.
Yeah, it's possible for all four of them. It's not. I give it like, if I had to throw a percentage on it, I'd say like a 15% chance. And the only reason I say that is because the NFC South is gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be really interesting.
Tampa and the Falcons.
With Tampa and the Falcons.
Yeah.
Maybe the Saints.
Maybe the Saints, because I think what happens always in the NFC South is that if one team kind of goes on a run, the other team that's right behind them, they're gonna go on a run too, because they're gonna.
But what about the Bucks?
We gotta keep pace.
He said.
That's what they said. They said Bucks and Falcons.
Yeah,
and then they said maybe the Saints.
If the Bucks go on a run, the Falcons are gonna step it up, and it always comes down to like
one game,
division tie break, or one break or something.
Like week 17.
Doesn't matter how bad or how good they are. It's always close to NFC South, and I think what could happen is you can see the Bucks, because we've seen what they can do offensively. We know that defense is coached up really well. You can see the Bucks go on a run, and the Falcons say, "Shit, we got to keep pace," and then they kind of drag each other across the finish line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it puts the Bears out. And then also out west, the Seahawks is always a wild card. You know, I think the Niners
they can get hot anytime.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the Niners,
because they're a very capable football team.
Very much so. The Niners will win the division, and the Seahawks are a wild card. Unfortunately, NFC East, not much to look at there. Used to be the pride of the NFL, and
trash.
Well,
except the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is
looking good.
Front runner for Rookie of the Year.
Looking good.
No, Rookie of the Year.
So all four NFC North teams in the playoffs, I give it a 15% chance. It's a shot. Depends on what happens in the NFC South.
So. All right. Well, good luck to all of them. And we're moving on to fourth down with two teams that had even better luck today. Clearly going out and getting Amari Cooper and Davante Adams. Bills and Jets. Monday Night Football.
We got a lot of time to talk about this. Let's go.
Bills scrape out the victory 23-20. Jets lose despite having two receivers over 100 yards in Allen Lazard and Garrett Wilson. You know, offensive game was looking pretty good in the open field, but the red zone struggles continue. Ray Davis had a breakout game, 97 yards on the ground, 55 through the air. It looks like Josh Allen found a new weapon, and then they just traded for another weapon. Yeah. So, fellas, this division, or the battle for this division title, is about to get even crazier. The Jets look like they stacked the deck on offense. As good as the Bills' offense has been, they get a stud receiver in Amari Cooper, who has a lot to prove, coming from the Deshaun Watson debacle over there in Cleveland. I don't know what them dudes about to be doing over there. Isn't their number one receiver now is Jerry Jeudy? GG's, my boys. But talk to me. Talk to me.
I got a quick request.
This divisional battle, yeah.
Before we get into this conversation, and we split it into two parts. We talk about the game and then talk about the moves because both of them need to be discussed. But let's focus on one part.
Yeah, let's do the game. Let's do the game. The Jets, of course, high winds last night.
I don't need to go first.
New York is getting crazy. 40 degrees in the morning, 65 degrees by noon. You got the snorkel on in the morning. You got a hoodie on at noon, and then back to a scarf at night. We don't know what the hell is going on. The wind has been crazy. The
80
Jets
degrees this weekend.
80 degrees coming up this weekend. Jets had 2 field goal attempts doink off the goalpost and hit out. Like I don't think I've seen 2 doinks in the same game before. But listen, one of those field goals making it at least sends this game to overtime, depending on how the game script goes. But close game, Jets lose. Bills look like they're ready to bounce back. Still trying to figure out the receiver situation over there based on this game. Khalil Shakir came back, had a pretty decent game. They still got Dalton Kincaid running those slants on the inside. Curtis Samuel gets his 2 to 3 receptions a game. Hopefully he gets loose for like a 25, 30 yard bomb. Ray Davis. Everybody thought, listen, I made bread during the day, but that Monday night game, everybody thought it was going to be Ty Johnson breakout game, but it was Ray Davis. Ty Johnson didn't hit as much as we thought, but Ray Davis did that. James Cook, hopefully he'll be back soon. So listen, Bills looking like they stacking the deck on offense too. Yeah. Maneuvers, thoughts on the game, and I said this earlier in the chat, right? Like the problem, and I feel like this is the same thing with Jacksonville. The problem seems to be the play calling.
Yeah.
What say you?
For the Jets?
The Jets, yeah.
No, I think the play call was much better this week. I think, and we were talking in the chat earlier today, and somebody said something about the team, and they said the scoring, what the Jets have scored this year versus what they scored.
I did 113 through week 6.
And the reason I said it's not apples to apples, and I didn't get into it then, was last year the defense was more dominant. So some of those points in that 113 were scored on defensive touchdowns. So it's not.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We're talking about offensive touchdowns. Offensive touchdowns. It was 113 to 113. Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, the same numbers. Do not. I know you like Aaron Rodgers, bro.
No, it's not. It's not that.
I know you do. Don't do that. Okay. It's the same numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Offensive. Now, in fairness, the offensive yardage has increased with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. So you're getting more yards on the ground.
I mean,
it's just not translating to touchdowns. I told you I was going to interrupt. I'm a cook. So look at the New York Jets, right? I have a buddy who is a fan. Shout out to Marty. We all know Marty. Marty from East New York. Shout out to you, bro.
He's a good guy.
He said he would have preferred if the Jets went out and signed Derek Carr instead of Aaron Rodgers, because he knew what would come with Aaron Rodgers signing with the Jets. And what has that come with? Missed off seasons, ayahuasca, signing, trading invaluable draft picks to be able to build your football team to go and get old relics of the past that make him feel comfortable.
I thought we were separating.
Coaching. Stop it.
And this is what I'm saying.
Hold on.
Lazard has been cooking, brother.
This is what we're saying.
Lazard has been cooking, but Lazard has been dropping.
You cut me off. You cut me off to talk foolishness. Shut up and let me make my point. Like I was saying, the Jets, the defense was more. Oh, now he's gone. He's gone.
Nah, it's not the Walmart.
Is it the internet?
We're back. I dropped the remote. We're back. Drop the remote.
The Walmart University.
So the defense was more dominant last year, and I think that naturally that impacts the offense. It impacts starting field position. It impacts a lot of things, a lot of hidden yardage, a lot of hidden things that you lose when you don't have a dominant defense. But to me, the biggest thing is this is like penalty wise the second most penalized team in the league. penalty yardage wise, the most penalty yardage for a team in the league.
But
if you pay attention and you watch what's happening to them, first downs are being taken away, touchdowns are being taken away, field goals are being made longer because of silly penalties that are happening, holdings, illegal formations, false starts. These are the things. These are the challenges. And I think that's part of why when you start really peeling back the layers of them firing Robert Saleh, it's like, all right, what's wrong with this team? Why can't we execute? Why are they not a disciplined football team? Because the problems in terms of penalties also show up on the defensive side of the ball as well. Yeah. So I think, there's that piece of it.
But not as much as the offensive side of the ball. Because the offensive line stinks. And they went out and signed Tyron Smith to a huge contract in the offseason, thinking that he was going to shore up the left tackle. And he was a goddamn turnstile last night.
Yeah.
So hold on.
There's definitely.
But hold on. Before you continue, I want to ask Darnell this though. From an eye test perspective, what you've seen so far, does this team offensively look better than they did last year with Zach Wilson?
I'll say this: it's not as much of a. They look better. You know what I'm saying? It's not as much as they said last year. It was a struggle to see, Zach Wilson throw him down to 5 yards. Yeah, you know what I mean.
They couldn't get yards.
They were offensively. You know what?
Inept.
Inept is good because challenge is too easy. Inept is much better. I feel as if I gotta say this, man. Aaron Rodgers always had this thing about just relaxing and waiting for it to pan out. But at this stage of where you're at in the beginning of the season, all of these strides that they're making to become a better team is it's like they shoot themselves in the foot every single week. It's at least two games that they should have won easily, 2, maybe 3. We'll put the 49ers a wash. That's the Niners. You know what I'm saying? That's first game back. But it just seems like the Jets can't get out their own way. You know what I mean? Because you fire the coach, try to get some you want to change up the continuity and the process that you do have, but it's the same exact thing happen. You know what I'm saying?
But the Niners exposed a clear weak. To your point, the Niners exposed
offensively. The thing is, offensively, the issue is not Aaron Rodgers. Everybody knows that offensively, the issue is Nathaniel Hackett. We gotta call this.
That changes.
Huh?
That changes.
But that's what I'm saying. The thing is, before, but all habits die hard. 1 week is not going to change the scheme of what
they got a new play caller.
1 week is not going to change it.
To the credit of the new offensive coordinator, the script was better.
Breece Hall got involved.
It was better. But that's what happened.
Breece Hall got involved. The script was better.
Right.
But the timing in which the team is playing with, especially with the receivers on the outside, is still out of sync.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're bringing in a Davante Adams is to solidify
that's
timing.
Reps. That's chemistry. That's reps.
So let's keep it separate.
And to your point,
because we're gonna get into the Davante.
And I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap up the game portion like this. This is back to Darnell's point of Aaron Rodgers typically wanting to relax, ease his way into it. But we're in week 6.
Yeah.
You've been in the league forever. This is not the Packers that you had the chemistry with, where you knew, right? When you look at the Ravens, started out this year 0-2, they weren't panicking because they know what time it is, right? Aaron Rodgers could have afforded to do that on the Packers because he knew what time it is.
What did the Ravens do, FJB?
Go out and kick ass? Run the ball. They gave the ball to Derrick Henry and said, get out the way, right? But at this point with Aaron Rodgers, this is go time. And I saw the tweet today from Garrett Wilson and we're going to transition into them acquiring Davante Adams. He's like, it's go time.
It is.
Boy, it should have been go time from week 1. That's go time. That's go time. But say that to say, the Jets have officially acquired. Sidebar, Yankees are up 2-0. Game's over. Let's go. Jets acquired Davante Adams today.
Be a part of it.
Jets acquired Davante Adams, so now Davante Adams Alan Lazard, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams.
Changes the entire dynamic of
Tyler Conklin, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen.
It changes the entire dynamic of that offense.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons, and 2 reasons alone. One, Davante Adams is Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Number two, Garrett Wilson's about to be guarded by CB2s.
So, but on top of that is now you have Davante Adams, who is an elite.
Yeah.
In the receiver room.
Yeah.
Saying to these guys, this is how I do it. This is what Aaron likes me to do. This is
motivated.
Yeah.
This is how Aaron wants me to pause at the top of the route and then make the cut. This is the move I give him so he knows to throw the back shoulder. This is the look. This is when I look at him like this, he knows I'm gonna pause at the line, give a little swim move, and I'm gonna throw my hand up. These are the things that, regardless of the fact that you had Cobb and Lazard and those guys,
I would say the nuances.
They're not Davante Adams.
Yeah.
And that is what Garrett Wilson needed. Garrett Wilson needed the guy that was
Sean sick.
Yeah.
On par with him as in terms of a skill set size. Yeah. Now, how that translates into, receptions and touchdowns remains to be seen. But I think it changes the overall dynamic of how that offense is now going to operate, how defenses are going to have to defend them. And if the play calling continues to be better like it was this past week, is also beneficial. But it all remains to be seen because it's any given Sunday, anything can happen, we don't know.
All right, Sean, time to cook because you clearly do not like the remnants of this trade. You don't see how it's going to impact winning for the Jets because they didn't address some of their more important needs. So, time to cook.
Well, I start with the positives first. Is that what it can translate to is creating a cushion for that defense is struggling to stop running the football, stop the run, right? Yeah. Talking about more points on the board. So you acquire an asset like Davante Adams, who is one of the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. You expect to be in the top 5 scoring in the NFL, right? Because right now you're on the outside looking in from that. What that means to me is mounting pressure for Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers already had pressure to begin with already. Now you have your number 1 receiver, you have your pacifier, you have your man crush, you have the guy that you have lauded over, that has been the gentleman that has allowed you to have the best wide receiver to quarterback connection in the past 10 years. That's undeniable. I am not a hater. They've been the best, right? But that means that you have to step out on that football field and put up more than 20 a game.
And win.
And win. No, well, not even win. Provide the defense with a cushion so that they can play to their strength, which is rushing the passer and allowing those corners that are ball hawks in Reed and Sauce Gardner and to be effective, right? So
they're playing from behind.
But they're always playing from behind, and having to stop the run has been a challenge for the Jets in this particular season because they're missing guys that are stalwarts on the defense, like CJ Mosley. So they have to put points on the board, and all this move does is mount more weight on the shoulders of number 8, Aaron Rodgers, to be able to perform. And guess what? I don't think he's gonna perform. He is 40 years old. He's aged. He's taken a beating. We saw all the sacks that he took. Epinesa was basically a part of the New York Jets jersey last night, the way he was all over Aaron Rodgers, right? So we're talking about their inability to protect the quarterback, the inability to run the football on a consistent basis because the offensive line is not providing that consistency that's needed for them to be successful. So in a nutshell, what I feel like is it mounts the pressure on Aaron Rodgers to perform going forward this particular, because they're 2-4. It don't get no easier from here. Okay, it gets harder.
I mean, okay. Well, quick. Well, like, wait. So quick. Okay, let's do a quick rundown of the schedule, real quick. Steelers.
I love this segment.
Steelers.
Loss.
You asking me?
No. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it to everybody. Steelers.
At the Steelers.
At Pittsburgh.
Loss.
Okay. At New England.
Win.
The Texans come to town.
Loss.
Yeah.
They go visit the Cardinals in Arizona.
Win.
Colts are coming to town.
Win.
Seahawks coming to town.
Win.
Going to Miami.
Yeah, win.
Going to Jacksonville.
Win.
No, hold on. Wait. Let's go back to that Dolphins game. Tua should be back by that time. That's like week 8, week 9, right?
Win.
I'm gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Call that a win. I call that's 4-3 so far.
Okay, so the Jags
win. They're beating the
I
Jags.
agree.
The Rams come to town.
Depends on.
I think Cooper Kupp might be playing this weekend.
Cooper Kupp is back, and Puka Nacua could be back.
If they're back, it's a loss for the Jets.
Okay. Jets in Buffalo. December 29th.
Loss.
Win.
Last game of the season, the Dolphins come to town.
Win.
Yo, Maneuvers, let me ask you something. Why do you believe in the Jets so hard? Why do you like Aaron Rodgers so much?
At
this stage in his career, I need you to explain yourself.
First of all, I go on record, and you know,
because I'm upset right now. Because I know you know football. I know you. I've known you for over 20-something years, bro. Explain yourself.
Let's go on record. First of all, I've never been an Aaron Rodgers fan. All of you who know me, everyone out there, you guys on the pod with me can attest. It's not like I've been. Aaron Rodgers is great for as long as you've known me. I know he's a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. He's an all-time great. I don't think he should have won back-to-back MVPs. I was pissed about that. Many things that I don't believe in for Aaron Rodgers. What I do believe in is what I see with my own eyes when I watch the game and what he's been able to do thus far this year, coming off a torn Achilles, going to Egypt instead of a mini camp, like playing behind a friggin' horrible, poor at best offensive line. And we all see it, like the throws that he does make when he can make a throw.
Yeah.
The time that he creates in order to make throws, the time that's not there, the way he is, like everyone makes a big deal about him. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, he's old school. He doesn't like motions and all that stuff. He doesn't need it because the way he manipulates DBs and linebackers with his eyes and his body and shoulder movements and all those little things that to the naked eye look like he's just back there doing stuff. Like he is elite. And for me, what I see when I see him play the game is I see somebody where like the game is he's 40 years old. The game has slowed down to him so much. Like it's not moving as fast as it is for, say, a Caleb Williams. Right. You know, like it's so slow, and he's able to do things that I think, hey, if Aaron Rodgers can by week 8, because now you got to remember how long the season is. They get a couple wins. If by week 8 he can turn it on and get into a certain kind of rhythm, and
that's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, exactly. And this is before the trade. I was thinking this. If him and Garrett Wilson, you can see that the chemistry
back-to-back games,
it's starting to come along. All these things, I'm like, if that defense, you know, because their head coach is now their former defense coordinator. If they can buy in and become the defense that we believe they can be, like, yo, Aaron Rodgers can score 21 points a game with that offense.
Just not last.
But listen, to your point,
this is gonna be the last.
Yes, listen, to your point, they do have a shot because they have those remaining division games on the schedule where they can be able to make headway.
It's a weak schedule. They played the hardest
It's a weaker schedule. But to the point that you made, Aaron Rodgers, he is expected to score more than 21 points a game.
No, correct? He's not expected.
But when you're talking about the NFL,
because I gotta say that.
No. But the problem that we have. Hold on a second, because you had your soliloquy.
Cut me off. I wasn't done.
Let me end this on mine. My point. I
wasn't done. You cut me off.
Don't. It's okay. You'll be all right. It's all right. Maneuvers. Look at me. It's okay. The new NFL requires movement. You look at some of the most you look at the most successful offenses, right? Are created by mismatch when you have mesh concepts, when you have motion, when you have guys that are off the ball being able to move and get into positions to be able to create mismatches. The Jets don't do that. Their players do not move because of Aaron Rodgers' comfortability in running the offense and be able to manipulate, like you said, but sometimes that's not enough. Guys like Garrett Wilson will benefit from motion, being able to work out of the slot, and he's still in the same position, having to run crossing routes across the field, running slants, because the Jets run as much slants as anybody in the NFL. It's predictable to the point where you'd be like, yeah, they're gonna run a slant, and that's what they did a lot of last night. But I feel like if they nuanced the offense and had motion, it would allow them to be able to create more mismatches and make the game easier for Aaron Rodgers to be able to deliver the football.
You want them to motion the receivers into running slants. That's what you're saying. Listen, here's the problem.
It's not what I said.
Yeah, that's basically what you're saying. Their offense is going to be their offense.
Y'all hear me say that?
The plays don't change. What you do before the snap doesn't change what the play is. What you do before the snaps creates possible mismatches or
ask Sean McVay, ask Mike Shanahan. Those guys run pre-motion offensive sets, and they are the most successful offenses.
But do you know what it is? Do you know what the pre-motion does not? What I'm saying to you, you're right. All right, yeah, they should run motion, but it doesn't change what the play is.
Continue.
It doesn't say, I'm just saying that so you can shut the hell up. It doesn't change what the play is. Anyway, I'm not going to go down. We can have an X's and O's conversation. Let's do a segment where we just talk X's and O's. But the last thing I want to say is, the reason I say Aaron Rodgers scored 21 points is because we get in this mode where we like put it on the good side of whatever the team is doing. Like the Steelers is like, it's all about the defense, and like the offense. They're like, both sides got to do their job. If Aaron Rodgers goes out there and scores 8 points, guess what? Defense, you got to hold the other team to 7 points.
And he don't want no bucks.
If Aaron Rodgers goes out there and scores 50 points, defense, guess what? You can't give up more than 49. That's what it boils down to. So we do the same thing with this.
Well, all right, Darnell, we gotta take a little drive, a couple hours up north and go to Buffalo. Bill said, we see your receiver and we raised you one. Went out and got Amari Cooper to add to that core. This seems so much more simple than the Jets case. It seems like Amari's gonna be plug and play. I thought Davante Adams might have went to the Bills if they felt froggy to try to pull that trigger, because they definitely needed a lead receiver there. Granted, they got the young rookie in Keon Coleman who showed flashes. Khalil Shakir has been their number one, but now they got Amari Cooper leading that group. That team is going to be dangerous. How do you see him fitting into that offense?
I think it'll be seamless. I think Josh Allen has shown that he could pretty much work with any group, any core receivers, and at first they were looking as if they won the Stephon Diggs trade, but it's quite apparent that every quarterback needs a solid number one wide receiver. You know what I mean? So I think if Amari cleans up the drops, gets in there and kind of gives these guys a little bit of a boost, I think Keon Coleman has a chance to be a dog, from Florida State. I think he could be a dog. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Amari will take a lot of pressure off of him to try to, show out as a rookie, and it'll kind of give Josh a nice outlet other than the tight end and Shakir. But I think all in all, because you gotta think, man, they lost Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't just replace 2,000-yard receivers with a amalgamation of guys, man. Yeah. It's not gonna happen. It's like it's not gonna happen. So
like they knew what they was doing with Gabe, though.
Huh?
They looking like they knew what they was doing when they let Gabe walk.
Yeah, Gabe. Yeah, so he definitely not that same person. But still, you know what I'm saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure. So you can't say that. So like I'm looking forward to see what that could do to solidify them and put them back up into the ranks with the Ravens, the Chiefs, and hanging out there with the top of the division. Or they're gonna own that division for a little bit, unless I won't say the other team's name, but that's what I'll say. Yeah.
And Sean, to keep it nice and short, do the Bills now have enough? Currently constructed, is this enough to win the conference?
They have enough to be
not will they, but is it enough?
They certainly do. They have enough to be. They've demonstrated that they can run the football. Now they have a passing attack that you have to respect. Dalton Kincaid, like you mentioned, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and now you add Amari Cooper in the fold. Only hope that you're wishing for is that he remains healthy for the remainder of the season, because he has had an injury history, hamstring, other various injuries. So I mean, you're hopeful that he does stay healthy, but he is the number one threat that the Bills need to have on the outside, back shoulder threat, inside, outside. Whatever you need him to do, he is that guy. So I think that he's going to be a perfect fit for what they do.
And maneuver to put a bow on it, who is the Bills' biggest kryptonite in the playoffs? The easiest answer is the Chiefs, of course, because they eliminated them twice. But if there's one team you think the Bills, they can't intentionally try, but they would hope, if you're the head coach of the Bills and you want to avoid a team in the playoffs, who would that be?
Come on, maneuver, say what I'm thinking, bro.
Easy answer. It's Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the most important thing though for me, I don't want your stinking handshake. The most important thing for me is I really wish someone from the Bills or the Browns organization would have given me a call this morning when I woke up, looked at my fantasy roster, and I said, "Man, fuck them all. God damn it. And I dropped them.
God damn it.
Fantasy been a killer, dude.
I was like, yo, man, he ain't scored 8 points again? Drop. I'm quick. I'm like, please. I don't want Wandale anymore.
Hey, Maneuver, you see what kind of poison it is, man? Rooting for these fantasy teams. You see what it make you. You see what it make you do? Turn you into a monster.
No, I was trying to drop Wandale. I was like, I don't want the Giants.
Like, I'm cool on him. Yo, man, listen, I picked Christian McCaffrey with my first overall pick, and Mans hasn't played. I got him on IR. I'm hoping he comes back 75% of what he was, so I can make this playoff push. But
FJB, that's that Madden curse, man.
It
is.
It's that Madden curse, bro.
It is. Listen. Let's I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're gonna cook up something for y'all. I'm gonna get on with my boy FJB. Pause. We're gonna start hitting y'all after the trade deadline, 22 twos. You know what I'm saying? As any good sports program, would do. We're gonna come through and give y'all all the best beats, the best bets on, these parlays, these game lines.
I like that.
And we gonna do the deep cuts too. We ain't gonna give y'all just the we gonna
and maneuvers. Listen, DraftKings. All right, DraftKings, come find us. All the sports books, FanDuel,
Prize Picks, what up?
Prize Picks, Caesars, come find us, okay?
Yeah.
We need where the money's at.
We need a sponsorship because we know what we're talking about. Our research is better than yours.
Yes, sir. As always, y'all, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification so you know when we upload new content. Comment, hit us up in the DMs. We know more than you. Our research is better than yours. Try to argue with us in the comments because we will argue back. You heard? Let's go New York. Let's go Liberty. Let's go Yankees. We'll see y'all ass Mets in the finals. What up? Year
22. We out.